You are listening to TechVibe Radio. It's coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. TechVibe Radio is your front row seat to Pittsburgh's fast-moving technology ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by the generous support of Blink at 321blink.com, Chorus Call at choruscall.com, C-Leveled at c-leveled.com, Compunetics at compunetics.com, Huntington Bank at huntington.com, My Benefit Advisor at ptc.mybenefitadvisor.com, and PNC Bank at pnc.com. Here are your hosts, the Pittsburgh Technology Council's Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting. Oh, it is a Sunday morning, and it's Jonathan Kirsting here from the Pittsburgh Technology Council, bringing you TechVibe Radio up at the crack of dawn. I tell you what, any time of the day, I'm ready to talk tech. And I tell you what, Audrey and I, my co-host Audrey Russo, who's sometimes with me, sometimes not with me. Today she's not. She's prepping for a board meeting. So I am flying the show solo. Earlier this year, which was like 2 weeks ago, because we're just barely getting through January right now, we're talking about what are the tech companies that we are just super pumped about for 2022. And we kept coming back to Niche, which is just, we think, one of the coolest tech companies here in Pittsburgh, led by Luke Skurman, who's actually been building this company for, I think, almost 2 decades, which I think is just so cool. And we got Luke hanging out with us today to really talk about the journey of building Niche, and really from its early days all the way up to the complete butt they're kicking right now. So Luke, I'm so glad to connect with you. I'm glad that you're doing well. I just cannot wait to learn more about what Niche is up to these days. So welcome to TechVibe Radio. Really appreciate it.
Jonathan, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So first and foremost, man, like I said, you've got this long, really cool history of building tech in Pittsburgh. And I think it's so awesome because you've been doing this for like 2 decades. I've been at the Tech Council for almost 25 years, watching people like you build companies. So I get extra pumped when I see somebody who is as committed as me when it comes to staying in Pittsburgh and having some fun. So what's your story real quick, just about Niche real fast? Like give us the elevator pitch for Niche, and then I'm going to jump into how you founded this thing.
Sure. Cool. So today we're the largest platform in the United States for students and parents to research and connect with K-12 schools and with colleges. So we've got every school in the United States on our website. So that's 130,000 schools. So those are kindergartens, middle schools, high schools, colleges, community colleges, grad schools, charter schools, private schools, parochial schools, school districts. We've got them all.
Wow.
We've got all the hard data, the statistics, the facts, the rankings, the outcomes, and then we've got all the qualitative as well, the user-generated content and what it's really like. So we go beyond just the academics. So that's in a nutshell. That's the core. We get about 60 million unique visitors a year on the site. So a very high percentage of Americans that are thinking about where to live, where to go to school, where to go to college are on the site. 1 in 2 high school seniors creates an account every year to help them go through this whole journey and to create that process. We are 250 employees strong today, and we're growing
back
really
up.
fast.
You're giving me these numbers here, Luke, that are just really blowing my mind.
Okay.
You talk about every school is on your site, and now you have 250 employees. That's so cool.
We're doing really well, and the primary revenue stream is that we partner with schools and colleges to help them really get in front of our highly engaged audience and ultimately help them drive more applications and more enrollments. So today we now have more than 2,000 clients. So those are everywhere from big publics like University of Pittsburgh and Penn State to private institutions like Chatham and Carnegie Mellon, to private schools like Shadyside Academy and St. Edmunds Academy, all the way to boarding schools, to Catholic schools all across the United States. So we believe that ultimately we can partner with about 40,000 schools in the country, and we've sold into about 2,000 of them. So we feel like we still are very early days over here, and we continue to make the products and the services as strong as possible for the users. And we're trying to just be in touch with what the schools and the colleges really need, where there's just been so much change and so much adaptation going on in this last several years, particularly since COVID's happened.
That's just, I mean, like I said, this is why, like when Audrey and I were talking about companies we think are kicking butt, I didn't realize you're kicking that much butt. This is why I like having these catch-up sessions, so I can just be like super pumped about what you guys are up to. I mean, you're giving me some pretty amazing numbers there, and the idea is that you're just starting. In some ways, that to me is like, oh my gosh, this opportunity is pretty massive. And I think about the data you're collecting and the people you're helping at the same time make the right decisions for themselves based on the data that you have. Like, that's just so awesome.
We really believe in our mission of really making researching and enrolling in schools easy, transparent, and free, and really ultimately helping people find where they belong. This is not just selling some sort of random widget. We really believe that choosing schools are some of the most important and
It
seminal
is.
decisions your whole
Yeah.
life. You look back and you say, "Whoa, where did I go to school? Where did I go to college?" Those stay with you your whole life. They really are important, and we really want to help people make the best decisions possible and really help to shape you for sure.
It's so empowering to know that this type of data is out there to help people. And yeah, that's why I just think it's amazing that you're doing this. And this is something that you started growing. How long ago was it exactly? Was it more than 20 years ago that you started this thing,
Um,
this
so
college
so
prowler back in the day?
so officially started the business really as the day after I got my bachelor's in May of 2002. So we're coming up on 20 years, and then
Okay,
we
yeah, you
and
are
then
2 decades into
and
this
then
thing.
we incorporated the business formally in I think in August of '04. So as an
Okay,
official business, probably 18 years.
love it.
It's a full-time endeavor though, coming up on 20 years. Yeah.
I mean, did you ever think you'd be at this thing for 20 years like this when you started?
No, I really didn't.
I can't imagine either. Like, that's so cool.
I mean, it's kept me really engaged and excited because I see how important and how needed this is. You know, when I was a student going from California to ultimately to Carnegie Mellon, I saw how important of a decision this really was, where I was
Right.
going to travel 3,000 miles across the country, you spend 4 years of your life, you build your friends, your network. It was a big decision. And then here I am as a father now. We've got three little ones and trying to figure out the right neighborhood to live in and the right schools to send the kids. It's these are big decisions and we really want to get them right. And so never thought I'd be at it for 20 years, but it continues to really excite me, continue to see so much opportunity in the market. It still feels like in a lot of days we're just at the beginning right now. It's just wild to think like that, but it really is the truth.
Most definitely. In case you're just tuning in, we're talking to Luke Skurman, who is the CEO and founder of Niche. Go to niche.com. And it's this awesome platform where, as he says, every school is on there. So you can determine the best schools that are out there, the best neighborhoods to live in. And to me, I think it's just such vital data. And to know that you've been growing this thing, in very many iterations over the past 20
Sure.
years now, I think it's exciting. And it just goes to prove to me that like you can come to Pittsburgh and build something because you came here and you stayed here. Tell me more about the fact that, what kept you in Pittsburgh this entire time? Because I'm sure there's been many opportunities where as you have received investment or potential investments that they want to pull you out of Pittsburgh, get you closer to probably someplace like Silicon Valley or something like that. But you're here in Pittsburgh, and I love that.
So I was born in New York City and I grew up in San Francisco, and I came to Carnegie Mellon for my bachelor's and my master's, and I stayed here. I think as an undergrad, I really never envisioned, hey, staying in Pittsburgh. It was not
Right.
the plan. It was,
Not
I'm
many
going to get,
people do. I mean,
yeah,
just be honest, people are like, hey,
it was either probably go back to California or maybe go to New York. But all of a sudden I started coming up with the plan, started getting some momentum, and it felt like, you know what? The cost of living was lower here. There were some unbelievably talented people here. I felt always wanted. I felt people wanted to make sure that I was going to succeed. I felt like slightly bigger fish in a slightly smaller pond. And I felt like I had more opportunity and more people rooting for me than kind of in the dog eat dog world where you don't have as much support.
right.
And that always just kind of resonated with me, that it felt like a smoother and more mild place to go start a business, buy yourself some more time, not as expensive for office space, for salaries, for everything. And it felt like the people here were always so sincere, so genuine, so hardworking. I was always just resonated with that. So yeah, ultimately Pittsburgh felt like a place where I was able to run the business and I was able to grow professionally and as a person as well,
Right.
where it just gave someone in their 20s and their 30s just so many cool opportunities, from sitting on nonprofit boards and starting up different nonprofits and being involved with different cool things that you would never really dream you'd even have an opportunity to do. But Pittsburgh always felt like they had interest for young leaders to just take the ball and run with it. And I was willing to do some of those things. So I've been fortunate that I've been on the board of trustees at Carnegie Mellon now since 2008. So coming up on 14 years, which has been great. Helped start Ascender and the Thrival Innovation and Music Festival, been on the board at the Sprout Fund and Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Greater Pittsburgh. So I've been on some cool nonprofits, which are really helped as well. And those were great experiences that I really cherish a lot as well.
I love hearing that, how you're giving back to the community while you're also building a business here that's giving back to the community by employing people and innovating here. Such a fun conversation. We're taking a quick break. We're going to come right back with more TechVibe Radio. We are talking to Luke Skurman from Niche, having way too much fun here. You had me really fired up because I just love hearing all these accomplishments to date. Hang tight. This is Jonathan Kirsting from the Pittsburgh Technology Council. Go to pghtech.org to learn more about us, and you can follow us on Twitter at pghtech.
For more than a decade, Blink has been producing unique creative services and solutions that tell a story, move hearts, and drive decision-making that advances business objectives, your business objectives. We adopt a company-wide policy of candor, transparency, and a good old-fashioned work ethic in the pursuit of building long-lasting relationships with our clients and our partners. From video and design to strategy and digital marketing, Blink is here to creatively advance your business. Visit us at 321blink.com.
All of the cool kids are listening to TechVibe Radio, and so are you. TechVibe Radio is coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios and is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, Blink, Chorus Call, C-Leveled, Compunetics, Huntington Bank, My Benefit Advisor, and PNC Bank. Here are your hosts, the Pittsburgh Technology Council's Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting. Welcome back. You are listening to TechVibe Radio, and I am your host and tour guide, Jonathan Kirsting from the Pittsburgh Technology Council. It's a Sunday morning, and I'm a little fired up because I love talking tech. And when I'm hanging out with people like Luke Skurman from Niche, it's just so much fun, and the time is going by so quickly. I feel like I have a million questions, but we can never get them all out. So Luke, I'm going to try to focus. Okay, help me focus.
Let's do it.
You're now up to 250 employees. Like where is everybody working right now? Obviously at home for the most part, but where are your offices and are you hiring? So I'm sure people out there saying, wait a second,
sure,
this guy's hiring.
Our offices are in the Strip District. We're also, we totally will always respect kind of remote employees so they can be based in Pittsburgh, but decide never to come into the office if they don't want to. They can come into the office a couple days a week if they want, or be there all the time. About 40% of our employees are not based in Pittsburgh now. We have folks now in 28 different states, but our offices are right in the Strip District, right next to the Pittsburgh Ballet on 20. We are hiring for all different roles. If you go to hiring.niche.com, you can see everything. But yeah, we're hiring for engineering and product leaders, some key roles in marketing, director of growth marketing, director of analytics. There's some key roles that we're definitely looking to fill, always sales roles like you mentioned. But yeah, we need everything for sure.
I can't imagine like standing in your shoes every day. The responsibility you have, you got 250 people that are like looking at you like, we're getting paid this week, right? You're like, yes, we're getting paid. The idea of making sure these people are rowing the boat in the same direction and making sure your product is as good as it can be. Like, I mean, how do you get this all done?
It's hard. It really is. And there's been a maturation on my part, and you have to kind of give up some Legos, and you can't do everything. We've hired 6 new executives in the last 13 months. So we've brought on folks from the Not Worldwide, the largest wedding marketplace. We've brought on folks from JobVite and Bumble and Kayak and OpenTable. We've filled some really great roles from some incredibly talented people, but we've been bringing on some fantastic leaders, some great new employees across the board. But definitely, it's a team effort, and it's not me trying to do everything, which is not
you
possible.
Mentioned some crazy cool names there. It's got to be pretty gratifying to be like, wait a second, I'm attracting talent from places like kayak, right? So these are folks that can probably work any place they want to, but they're seeing such a tremendous opportunity being a niche that they're placing their bets on you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think employees generally are craving that upward mobility. So they're kind of looking for that next thing. So Andra Smith, who's our general counsel, she was at Kayak and Open Table, and she was an associate general counsel there, and she became our first ever general counsel. So I think she was really inspired by her mission. She loved the education space. She loved the growth stage company, and the opportunity to kind of set the legal foundation for the company that was really attractive to her. But conversely for us, to have someone with her experiences and seeing marketplaces like Kayak and Open Table, and she was also at a really successful ticketing platform. Yeah, and being able to bring that type of experience here, it's just great. I mean, she just started in the fall and she's hit the ground running really hard. It's been dynamite.
That sounds tremendous.
It's been challenging. It really has. Yeah. I mean, we've been really conscious to be, we're trying to be conscious of the pandemic. We want the health and safety and the well-being of our employees to be always priority. So in all candor, we've been almost completely remote for coming up on 2 years now. There's where you're really looking for those authentic touch points to build that camaraderie where you have so many new employees, you don't have as much context. We're hoping 2022 cooperates a little bit. Hopefully we go into the endemic phase and we move from the pandemic phase, and we can all kind of figure out how to make sure we're living with this with the proper precautions. But yeah, I'm dying to kind of spend some more in-person team with all these fantastic new people that we have now.
We all are, that's for sure. Yeah, 2022. So moving ahead, like what are your big challenges moving out there? I just feel about like, man, if you're growing like this, adding more to your platform, where are you heading in next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think 2022 is about continuing to grow the team. It's continuing, to your earlier point, really execute, create all that alignment, all that cohesion, getting all those pieces to really play ball with each other. It's great to have the people, but really create the prioritization, really making sure everyone understands what we're really trying to do. And then we're working on some bigger new pilots right now where we're really trying to flip through the whole admissions and enrollment model to see if we can even add more value to the users right now. Where is there a way that there's still just too much friction and too much kind of unnecessary steps in the whole process? Is there a way we can really simplify that? So we're beginning to really think through some new ways where we can leverage our position where we have 30% of the colleges as clients, 50% of the users, and really do some really innovative things. And we're just starting to toy through that right now, but it's exciting what we're brainstorming right now.
You never know what you're going to find. It should be very interesting. So we got only a few minutes left. It goes by way too fast. I'm all about like the next generation kind of moving it forward, paying it forward. And I'm sure you've had many people that have guided you along the way on your really cool journey. How often do you work with other folks that, giving them advice and kind of mentoring, the next generation of folks? We can have a better tech community here in Pittsburgh, because I always feel like we can keep making it better and better and better. And we need folks like you to be like, here's what I've learned. Don't make my mistakes.
I love connecting with the next generation and helping them. And there's a lot of folks that have helped me along the way. COVID's definitely not helped that out.
Right.
3 small children. We've got an 8-year-old,
that doesn't help either.
and a growth stage company. But yeah, I mean, there are some really fantastic people that seek out advice from me. I try to be as open and as honest and as direct with them all the time. And somehow I'm feeling like people are always hitting me up for ideas and for advice. So I take that as people trust me and people feel like I've given them the straight truth. So yeah, I'm always excited to try to connect with entrepreneurs whenever I can. It's always great.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely consider you as part of like the tech pantheon here in many ways. Like you're one of those foundational folks that's just been here doing it. And honestly, it's your work and the other people's work, that've been building companies like yours here in Pittsburgh. That's what's making Pittsburgh such a great city, as far as I'm concerned. And we always have room to improve. And I think everyone there knows that, but you're always putting your foot forward to do that and help the next set of people along. Very, very cool stuff. So we've got about a minute or so left. What would be the best advice you give to anyone out there? They're thinking about starting a company. They're thinking about doing something on their own. What could you tell them to be like, man, this is what you got to do? Basic blocking and tackling, even if it is that.
I guess my 2 biggest pieces of advice, number 1 is follow-up. So there's so many people that you'll meet, you'll shake hands, you bumped into them at an event, you change cards, you get email addresses, and then the the entrepreneur or whatnot, they never send an email. They never follow up. They get in their head and they say, I'm waiting for this perfect time to send this email. You just follow up, say, it was great to meet you. Could we please talk for 15 minutes over Zoom or phone? I'd love to ask you A, B, and C, and just push it forward. Don't overthink it. Just follow up.
I like that. Don't overthink it. That's important. Yes.
Yeah. And number two is really trying to think through the opportunity size. That the bigger the opportunity, the better. And entrepreneurship is a very difficult sport that takes a long time. And thematically, I would say it's better to try to tackle a really big opportunity than to put the same amount of effort into a small opportunity. And I don't think I understood that quite succinctly well enough when I started off, but I really believe total addressable market size is just absolutely critical. It really is.
That is awesome advice. And I wish I had another 20 minutes to talk to you, Luke. So I still got more questions. That just means we have to have you come back on in 6 months to get the big update as to how you play up to 300 people when I talk to you the next time.
Let's do it again.
Absolutely. And Luke Skurman from Niche, you are the best. Definitely making Pittsburgh proud. Everyone, this has been Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council. As you can tell, I get a little too fired up when I'm having these types of conversations because it is my passion as well, too. Go to pghtech.org to learn more about the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and I will see you again on the air next Sunday. TechVibe Radio is coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios and is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, Blink, Chorus Call, C-Leveled, Compunetics, Huntington Bank, My Benefit Advisor, and PNC Bank.